Here's a game that was played by two members of the Washington Chess Club. And what I want you to pay attention to are the unprotected pieces. And when you play chess, be aware of your opponent's unprotected pieces as well as your own unprotected pieces, because a lot can happen in a chess game because of the unprotected pieces. So in this game, starting on the second move, there's already an unprotected piece. And so white does not protect the unprotected piece, and black takes it for free. So already on move number 2, white or black is ahead 1-0. So as I play a few more moves here, I colored the knight yellow on this move because whenever I see a move like that, I try to think about what my opponent is up to. And you always want to ask yourself, what is your opponent's threat? My first thought is the fried liver, and that's what happens a little bit later on in this game. So I'll explain that when the time comes. So when white moves the bishop there, then the fried liver can take place. And the way the fried liver works, it's kind of like the matrix, but rather than having the queen put a checkmate on, the knight goes to f7 and attacks the queen and the rook at the same time. It's called a fork, and one of those pieces is going to be taken. And the reason why, excuse me, the reason why the move is called the fried liver is that if you fall for it, you're fried liver. So black has to be very careful about what white's plan is in this move. And unfortunately, black doesn't pay attention because black makes a move right here that leaves the fried liver open. Now, there's another idea in chess called mechanical thinking. And what mechanical thinking means is that you have an idea in your head of what you want to do, and you're so into that idea that you don't think about other moves because you're so involved in your own thought. And most players in this situation realize that the fried liver is going to happen, so they naturally want to move the knight to this piece or to this place right here to put that fork on the queen and the rook. But white actually has a one-move checkmate right here. So I'm going to give you a second. You can pause the video to try to find the one-move checkmate, but white can win the game on this one move. Do you see what it is? White could actually take the bishop and move it to f7, and it's checkmate, and white wins the game after just 8 moves. Unfortunately, black doesn't see that, and black goes for the fried liver. The king can't capture the knight because the f7 square is being protected by the bishop, and so black and the queen is trapped. There's no way the queen can move. So white goes ahead and takes the black queen, and the score is 9. So queen is worth 9 points, and black only has 1 point. Now, once you get an advantage in chess, even if it's 1 point, you should be able to keep that advantage and ride the game to victory if you're very careful in your playing. But with a lot of the members of the chess club, and with unprotected pieces, sometimes chess players give back the advantage that they have. So at this point, white is ahead 9-1. So white has an 8-point advantage, but I want to show you how easy it is for a chess player to give up the advantage. Well, of course, there's an unprotected piece right here, but the exchange between a queen and a knight is worth it. So now the score is 9-4. White is ahead. So we'll play a couple more moves into the game. And here, white gives up a free piece, and black takes it. So what was once an 8-point lead that was whittled down to 5-point lead is now just a 2-point lead for white. And if you look here, the 2 red squares are both unprotected pieces. The The pawn right here is unprotected, which is 1 point, and the bishop over here is unprotected for 3 points. So now that, the advantage for white is just getting less. Black ends up taking the pawn, and now the score is 9-8. So it's almost a tie game. White goes ahead and attacks the bishop, but again, there's another free piece there. Black moves out of the way. White doesn't realize the unprotected piece, and black takes it. And now the score of the game is 11-9, and black actually has the advantage now in the game, even though black has lost a queen. As you can see, there is an unprotected piece for black, which white takes advantage of, and now the score is 10-11 in favor of black. Now, black does a move that's called a fork. Black's bishop is attacking two of white's pieces at the same time, but white actually has an unprotected, or black has an unprotected piece that white could take advantage of, because if white takes the bishop, black can't recapture with the piece. And so, I mean, white's going to lose one of the rooks, but a knight for a rook is called an exchange sacrifice, and it's not always a bad thing. So the best move for white would have been to take the knight right there, but white instead protects moves one of the rooks out of the way, but then loses the other rook. And now the score is 16-10 in favor of black. Now, again, I told you if you have an advantage of in a game, you should be able to ride that advantage to the end and win the game. But again, that's not always the case, as is true in this game. So I'll play a few more moves. Now, here's something interesting. White gives black a free piece, an unprotected piece. So that would be 3 more points, which would make the score 19-10, an almost impossible advantage. White does take, or black does take white's rook. It's an exchange, and it's 3 points to 5, but it would have been better for black just to take that free white piece instead. That was kind of a dangerous move for white right there, and the reason why is that black is now attacking, and this basically is an unprotected piece now. I mean, it is being protected by the queen, but there's no way that white would want to give up the queen for a rook in this situation. So, and I also marked the black piece here because it is a free piece. White goes ahead. It's an exchange of 3 points for 1. So black has a pretty big lead here. White takes another piece, so it's 19-12. And then black makes a terrible mistake right here. And you can see black has 2 unprotected pieces, and the black king is in the way as well and is going to get checked. So white takes the black knight, and now the score is 19-15. The king is in check. The king has to move out of the way, and white goes ahead and takes the black rook. And in a matter of 2 moves, and black has another unprotected piece. Black goes ahead and attacks the queen, but white just goes ahead and takes the black bishop, and now white is ahead. And there's one other thing that I want to show you in this game. So, you can just see here another unprotected piece that black gives up. And now I'm going to move a few moves ahead to a really interesting position. And that position is right here. It's still, this is not an easy win for white. A queen versus a rook, yeah, a queen is worth more, but a rook's a pretty good piece. But unfortunately, black moves the rook right there, and it's actually now an unprotected piece. And the reason why is that the queen can take it, but the king can't recapture the queen because it's being protected by the king. And that was really the final move in this game, which allowed white to win the game. So white was able to finish off this game and win. So again, when you're playing chess, really watch out for those unprotected pieces. Look out for your opponent's unprotected pieces and be aware of the unprotected pieces that you have, because a lot of times in chess games, unprotected pieces are where the wins and losses take place. Hope you learned something from this lesson, and I hope you can use it in your own games.